What's going on? You're in the Beat Sessions. I'm your host, Mitchell Weary. It's Friday, July 8th. Hope you've all been well. I want to kick the week off with Journey and their new record, Freedom. This is studio album number 15 for the band, and it's their follow-up to 2011's Eclipse. And after the release of that record, there was definitely some uncertainty as to whether or not Journey would make new music again. Frankly, this is a band that has reached a point where they have nothing left to prove creatively. They have put out some stellar albums. There's so much in their catalog that makes for an incredible live performance. And that's definitely where the strength of this band lies now, is in touring and in just delivering that consistent live show. They've reached that point that a lot of bands reach. There's Neil Schon is the only remaining original member of the band, but a lot of great musicians that are still celebrating this music. And I think that that's important to keep in mind if you choose to go see Journey, that, this is not about having a purist experience from a standpoint of seeing Journey, but it's about, listening to the music, enjoying the music, and seeing this cast of musicians deliver that sound. And I really like, especially Arnel Pineda. I think he's great on vocals. This is the band's fifth singer now. It's pretty wild that they've gone through that many iterations, but a lot of other personnel changes over the years, but he sounds great. I think that his voice captures a lot of those different inflections that Steve Perry's does, while, he has these own little nuances to his own voice, obviously. And I think that's great that he's making these songs his own and capturing that. It's what I would do as an artist. I would encourage any artist to do that. But Jonathan Cain, in a Billboard interview back in 2013, after the release of Eclipse, talks about, there's songs in our catalog that we've never even played live. So maybe we're just at that point where it's time to focus on that and celebrate that and just deliver to the fans what they want, what they're going there to pay for. And so talks about leaving the door open if the energy felt right, and the energy's feeling right on this record feels like, if this is a swan song, if this is going to be the last album from them, it's 15 tracks for their 15th record. I think that's kind of funny, even though I do feel that it is a little bloated, but there's a ton of great music on this record, and I think a lot of songs that are going to contribute to the energy of the live shows. I would say go check them out if you can get tickets at a pretty reasonable price, and if you want to go have a really fun time, just dip into a little nostalgia. This is a band to go see. I love Journey. Together We Run is your opening track. I love the piano and synths with the vocal, the way this track opens. Fills out in the chorus. You get a really bright pop driven track to open this thing up. A lot that you would expect from Journey. Not a bad way to open up this record. Don't Give Up on Us is your second song. Just you get those signature synths and those big chugging riffs. I love the big arena rock sound of this track. It's I kind of wish that they would have just kicked the record off with this song, but it is what it is. Still Believe in Love is your third track. We get a ballad that is somewhere between yacht rock and smooth jazz on this song. It's kind of a miss for me. I'm not a big fan, and I'm not going to say that it's a bad song, because music is one of those things that, all of our physiology is different. All of this music resonates with us differently. And if you're feeling it, you're feeling it. But I just got to say that I'm not feeling that particular track. You Got the Best of Me as your fourth song, and I am feeling this song. This song is finally what I was looking for, frankly, in this project. Just good rock and energy. And I really think that part of that comes off of what you got with on Eclipse, and just, wanting to get back to that, just that big arena rock sound that they deliver, that they're so good at delivering to. And so, big fan of that track for that reason. Live to Love Again is your fifth song, getting back to more balladry here. And it's, the ballad is one of those things that I feel like it's kind of become like rushing the court if you're a sports fan. It's overdone to the degree where, like, when it does get done, it just doesn't even feel like a celebration anymore. It's just like, oh, they're doing that again. And that's kind of where I felt like with this song. It's just like, oh, another ballad. And it really concerned me. I was like, man, if there's a bunch of this on the album, it's going to bum me out, because I think that it takes away from those moments. Like, when you really want to deliver a good ballad, like, it should stand out. It should shine, And if you deliver an album of 15 songs with 7 or 8 ballads, then none of those really have an opportunity to do that. So I'll argue that, and I'll argue that, I could live without this song on this record, but it leads into your sixth track, The Way We Used to Be. This song, I love this song. This is the kind of stuff that I was really wanting to get from the start from this album. I just love the groove that this song settles into. Great big guitars on this thing. Love the balance with the synth element on this song. Really a fine track, seeing Journey do what they do well. Come Away With Me is going to keep that energy going. I love the up-tempo feel of this song. Really cool riff, very catchy. Reminded me of a combination of Aerosmith and Jane's Addiction. I really, cool feeling song. Afterglow is your 8th track. I like the change of pace on this song, and I really wish that those other ballads that I talked about, had they been absent, I think that this would have been a cool moment. You get this moody ballad with just these, I love the melody and the synth-driven style of this song. It's and I think it would have stood out more if they'd given it an opportunity to do so. But this album is it's been done. So Let It Rain is your 9th song. I love this song. This arguably is my favorite song because I just love the way it gets into the blues. It is chunky. It is just stone cold fire. This song is awesome. I really am I might buy a ticket to go see Journey again with the hopes that they play this song live. And I might just be that jerk that sits in the front row and just yells, play Let It Rain, because pretty impressive. Big fan of that. Holding On is your 10th song. Cool prog riff on this thing, and I like the balance with the breakbeat. And progressive rock, this is a band that, there's a fair amount of that they've done, their first 3 records especially, but when another word for prog rock, experimental rock, and not all experiments work out. And this is a band that they made the turn that they did commercially for a reason. And so I like that this particular prog song is working. It's really cool the way it comes together. It's got a great hook, and it's got a really nice pop element to it. There's a lot that reminds me of Rush on this track. Kind of sounds like maybe Geddy Lee was at the studio one day and just dipped his head in and decided to jam with them. But it's a great song. It's unique. It stands out. And that was one of the things too about the energy of the first part of the record here, the first 4 or 5 songs, that the energy just there was nothing that really stood out to me about those songs. And so I'm liking that about the later run of this record. I mean, it really just goes on to totally redeem itself. All Day and All Night is your 11th track. Funky groove on this thing. The bass is fire on this track. Absolutely love it. Randy Jackson, actually, oddly enough, if you look at this band's very interesting history, I think a total of maybe like 4 or 5 years he has spent with Journey in his career, and a lot of contributions on this record. So loving the bass on that song. It is solid. Don't Go is your 12th track. This song it's not my favorite song on the record, but this song, I think you'll listen to it. If you're a Journey fan, you'll feel me on this. This song captures all the good things and is a perfect example of why their style of music is so appealing and why so many people just love their sound. You just get these big, big guitars, just good bright melodies that they're balanced with. It's a really great song. United We Stand is your 13th track, and then I'm like, I could totally live without this song. This song, it feels contrived. It just feels like so many bands these days, I just feel like they feel obligated to stand up and to have their moment, and they don't need to. I mean, you can if you want to, but it's just a sore spot on this record for me because it kills a really good run of songs. Life Rolls On. Indeed it does. It's ironic that song title comes after that, but Life Rolls On is your penultimate track, and man, if Don't Go had just rolled right into that would have been a really nice flow. I mean, the B-side of this record, had it just been maybe Let It Rain to Beautiful As You Are minus United We Stand, might have been one of the best sides of any record that I may have heard all year. But yeah, I mean, here we go. We got this record. It is what it is. United We Stand, too much cheese. Just didn't do it for me. But Life Rolls On, I love the piano and synth build in the beginning of this song, and then the guitars kick in, and this is just another track where Don't Go, talking about how those melodies and that sound, just that signature Journey sound being there, it's there again on Life Rolls On. And it's too bad that those songs don't run into each other. But Beautiful As You Are is your final track. Love the piano and vocal intro on this song. You get that for about 90 seconds, and then just this really pop driven rock melody that comes in. Nice way to close this thing out. This is a really darn good record for the most part, and I've really been on the fence for it, but I gotta admit, knowing that the only side that I think I could listen to from start to finish would be the C side of this record, and I gotta pass on it for that reason. When I buy an album, I want to be able to just throw it on, flip it once, and enjoy it. And I'm just not feeling that with this record so far. Maybe after a couple more listens, I might change my mind. I will say that the vinyl package will be released on August 26th. So if you decide you do want to pick this up, you're going to have to wait for a little bit. And I will say too, that part of the reason I was on the fence is that they made this thing affordable. I think that for the most part, you're going to be able to find this thing under $30. So for a double LP, like, props to them for doing that, for making that happen. It's one of the things I really like about this record. Talk about the whole vinyl package in and of itself. There's definitely a good value there in coming in under 30. So, if you decide to go for it, if you disagree with me on this, I can definitely understand. I think there's going to be much debate about this record. Please feel free to throw that into the comments section. I would love to see what you're all thinking of this project, because it's an interesting record. Like I said, there's a ton of really good music on here, and that stuff that I mentioned that I felt were misses. I'd be curious to see what you all think. So, hope you enjoyed this record. Hope you find this review helpful. Please like this video, share it, subscribe to the channel, do all the things to help me blow this project up in 2022, and stay tuned throughout the week for more album reviews. We will see you next time on the Beat Sessions.